Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you and your household.
And welcome to another beautiful episode of Fragrance, where we learn more about Islam in the simplest way.
We thank you for joining us on another wonderful package of Fragrance, your favorite program on TV.
I'm Fadila Okuno, and I promise it's going to be an interesting time with us on the show today.
I am Tinuke Olorotoyin Folami. It promises to be an exciting one. Stay with us.
Yes.
I don't. No, I don't know. The first child of the Prophet Ibrahim is my. I don't know the answer.
The prophet. I think the answer is Isaac, but I'm not like really sure like that. Like I'm not 100% sure accurate about the answer. So I will just say Isaac.
And that was from the streets.
My favorite segment.
Yeah. The question on the streets was, who is the first child of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam? And the answer is Ismail, known as
Ishmael.
Ishmael. You know, the life and times of Ismail was also symbolic in Islam because
Absolutely.
if not for Ismail, we won't have the Zamzam water.
Absolutely not. Yes,
We won't have the Zamzam water.
It's a very beautiful story. He's the son of the maid who had to be taken out of the home because of the wife
Yeah,
to avoid
probably
having issues in
jealousy
the home front.
and envy.
Reason, we always have this this concept of if you are marrying more than one wife, try to get them separate accommodations. If you don't have the financial means to do that, please don't
Don't
dabble
go
into it.
No, I think it's not only financial means.
Oh no, when I said financial, I was talking about the accommodation now.
Okay, yes.
Okay, so if you don't have the financial wherewithal
Please.
to provide for them, give them their separate accommodation so that they won't be fighting in the kitchen and bring out knife against each other or something, get violent and stuff. Because these things will happen. Every woman is territorial, whether you like, even the simplest of us.
Yorùbá will say òṣàjẹ́ ń pé méjì obìnrin
Kò
ò
dénú,
sí.
kò tiẹ̀ dénú.
Kò tiẹ̀ dénú.
So it's a very complicated situation. When you have to do it, please do it right. Even the Quran says you should do right by them. If you're going to do right by these women, you must ensure that you have the mental capacity. The mental capacity is paramount in being a polygamist. You cannot be a polygamist and be telling what happens with wife A to wife B. And then when they now have altercation, the wife goes, oh, even your husband said you don't know how to cook. Aha, trouble has started.
Exactly.
So it requires a lot of maturity. It is not for the weak.
It's not.
It's not for the weak.
It's not for the mommy's boy.
Yeah, it's not for the mommy's boy.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. And if you're just joining us, it's Fragrance on Lagos Television. We are entering into the U&I segment where we'll be discussing essential life topic. And today we'll be looking at Keep It Fit, and we have in the studio with us again our guest, Ajia Latifa Fadaunsi Adelekon. She is a lover of beans. I love that about her. She is a woman entrepreneur and a beautiful sister. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much for coming back on the show
Thank you
as
for
you
joining us
promised.
again.
Thank you, Jazakumullah khairan.
I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you.
So just as before we went off last time, we want to know your history into keeping it fit.
Okay. So thank you so much for having me again. It's so amazing to be back on Fragrance, and I'm so glad to be here to share my journey. My journey into fitness is still a very, tardy one, which I'm also working on with consistency and encouragement from everyone around me. But one thing that prompted me was because I realized that after childbirth, my experience with childbirth, pregnancy, I was overweight, and it's affecting my health so bad. And I've had a lot of people say to me, are you a sickle cell? Are you always sick.
You don't look like one.
So even if I do, it's just the way people just generally just talk down on people, and some of these things affected me. So being a woman entrepreneur, I have to also make sure that I'm at the top of my game. And being a Muslims are always excellent in whatever they do or wherever they find themselves. So I just realized that I have to just work on myself. It is about me and what I should do for me, because I have a lot of people, dependent on me. So I started with morning walks. So this is it. When I was breastfeeding my second boy, I was always craving something. And I will not lie, I brought this upon myself. I was always craving biscuits and milk. I would buy a carton of biscuit per week.
Wow.
And milk, and I would eat it because I was breastfeeding. I was always craving, and I will tell you that if you see the picture of when I did Akiko and when
You had your second baby.
oh my God, there was a clear difference that you brought this upon yourself. So sometimes we do nasiha for ourselves. You sit down and just talk to yourself and say, this is not even man-made. This is your handmade. This is handmade. You did it yourself. So I just told myself that I have to watch
What
I eat. So yes, you've done this to yourself. You have to just take it back. Normally, my family genotype, we are big. But when you're overweight, you feel it. All this place was very big.
Then you begin to have joint pains.
Joint pain, leg pains. I can't move a certain distance. I feel tired. I'll start panting. And I get cranky a lot. I just feel I don't want to be around the kids, and there's just a lot of things that just come with it. Even work, I'm not very productive with work. So I just had to push myself to say that, see, you're a go-getter, you can do this. I moved to my new office space and I was just working. I just saw another gym in my neighborhood and I asked for the price. I can't even afford this now. Instantly I made payments, and I calculated the BMI and I realized that
you're really overweight.
You're really, really overweight. And then I started that journey, and I was very, very consistent. And of course, being a content,
Is that consistency that is the problem everyone faces? Usually you hear people saying, oh, I've started going to the gym, oh, I've started doing some exercises, and after like 2 weeks you're like, so how is it going? It's starting, I don't have finishing, they will stop.
So I'll tell you that consistency is hard.
Very.
And
I think it has to do with patience and perseverance.
well, one, perseverance, endurance. How can you go far with the pain? I remember the first few days I was crying while I was doing a particular cycling. I was crying because I was feeling so much pain. But see, the people around you matters. They either
Make
Encourage
or
you.
mar you.
yes, so they will either encourage, like you said, or discourage you. But there's something I do with negative comments. I try to prove negative comments wrong and make it right.
Just trash it.
Just trash it. So I remember that when I started, somebody told me that you will not last 10 days.
Imagine.
I make sure that I recorded from day one. So I'll write on my Instagram, Dr. Beans eat the gym. Dr. Beans eat the gym day 1. Dr. Beans eat the gym day 2. So I made sure that I did that Dr. Beans eat the gym till that day 10. Then I took that video, I sent it to him directly. I said, guy, I hit the 10 and I'm not doing this for you. But just what you say.
For me.
But really, indirectly, I'll say that thing is a drive. I don't know. I used to tell people that you take negative comments the right way.
Trying to channel it to positive,
To positive things.
You mentioned the role the gym played in this. What should we put in place as Muslimah when choosing a gym?
I know of just one Muslimah friendly gym, but it's far from me. There are no interaction with opposite sex. It is confined. It is safe. I know about that place, but I've not been able to use it because it's far from me. And of course, with my schedule, I had to just pick up somewhere close to my house, close by. It's not totally confined, I would say, but it's somewhere that I could still make use of little equipment, and the owner of the gym is quite knowledgeable with Muslims around, so they understand. Oh, alaja, you understand. So whenever they are putting me through my exercises, they just tell me what to do.
They don't go
They don't go all hands. No. They don't do that. They don't do that. They are very, they respect boundaries. Being a Muslimah is also a factor of how you dress to the gym as well. So there are ways you should dress to the gym.
Absolutely.
And you should make sure that you
Dress
are
decently.
decent and
Not
covered.
too tight.
So when you're covered, nobody would come and harass you.
Okay, so looking at it from this perspective, it's a common picture to have situations where Muslima wants to go to the gym and the spouse begins to throw tantrums because, of course, they know what they see when they go to the gym. So now the question is, you as a Muslima, you want to go to the gym. Your husband is going to the gym and he doesn't have any problems with the fact that he's seeing half-dressed women around. But then you want to go to the gym and then the trouble starts. And I'm like, no, you can't do that. And they're like, okay, you're going to go to the gym well covered, decently dressed, and it's not like you're going to isolate yourself with the opposite sex or anything, whoever the instructor might be. So you can actually request for a female instructor. How do we achieve this? They want us to have the dream body, but they don't want us to go to the gym. So how do we bring that together?
There are just two options for me. First off is, if you can't go to the gym,
Do it
bring
at
the
home.
gym to the house.
Okay.
Second option is, these things are normal. You see, they are our protector. Arijalu Qawwamuna 'ala Nisa. Allah has put them in that position. So at every instance, they want to protect. They are not being bad.
That's how you know a loving husband.
He cares.
Yeah, sure.
And maybe, sometimes they are jealous, but they are just protective. So sometimes that's why it's always good to have conversations. Like I said, at first when I started, my partner did not say anything. He was just looking at me. But there was a goal. And because over time we've been through these hospital runs together.
So you understood what you were going
Understood
through.
what I was going. So I would just say I'm going to the gym just for
Fun.
for fun. Or so even when I started to share my journey, it was I remember one day we were just why you recording, and I'm like, sorry, you know that I am a social butterfly. And I remember him saying that, are you the first social butterfly? So I calmed down.
I had that conversation later.
I pounded yam.
Good
As I
wife
wanted to
material.
I remember I pounded yam that night, and I started having the conversation. And I was just like, see, I want you to look at my intentions and see other women that I would inspire. You know, Yoruba would say, Agbekale oro.
It matters.
It matters.
Then I would say that it's Allah's guidance too. Because I'm not a very patient person. But with Allah and, people, talking to people, you can't do this marriage journey alone.
Absolutely not.
It's like
guidance.
it's like an institute of its own. You can bring it home. There are little, you can have a mat. An exercising mat. Buy some dumbbells. In fact, there are ways to create dumbbells. You can get a bottle, pour cement inside, let it solidify, and you can just manage that.
Just create
create
create something out of nothing.
Out of nothing.
I think it's a wake-up call for wealthy Muslims to establish.
I was going to
yes,
say that.
gyms.
In fact, it's just a wake up call for. I was going on Instagram today and I saw this very beautiful Muslimah gym at I think New Jersey. It was painted pink. It was so nice. You have a solar room. You have your changing room, a fitness coach. So one of the things I really, really want to do is to get to a point where I'm going to train myself to be a fitness coach for Muslim women, because a lot of Muslim women, we need it. We need to be, like I said the last time, a sane woman is a sane society. No matter how you try to do other things, you still have to exercise every day. You see, in fact, you're going to be healthier, you're going to be happier, you're going to be more loving. Your husband is going to appreciate you more. Your children will love you more because you are already shedding
All
off
the
All the stress, the tension,
those tensions,
everything
you're
is out of the way.
They're out of the way. You're productive. creating balance is a fallacy, but yes, there's nothing like balance. But everybody is going to have a piece of mommy. Everybody is going to have a piece of wife. Everybody is going to have a piece of sister. And the reward is with Allah.
Mashallah. What would be your advice to women and husbands who find themselves in a situation where their wives really need to go to the gym and probably they have issues with, oh, there's no space at home for us to be able to do that? Maybe find a meeting point, go together. Yes, sometimes that helps.
Yeah.
You know, even if you're doing it at home and you're doing it with your partner, you find yourself motivated. You set a challenge for yourselves. Okay, sweetheart, I need you to burn,
How
those
many
fats
calories?
there on your meat section. Okay, you're also beginning to grow pot belly. We need to have a
six
challenge.
packs.
1 month. After 1 month, we'll check our waistline again, and you laugh over it. And then when you see your partner doing his sit-ups, you're like, let me quickly go and do mine too.
I think it's a kind of bonding between the
It
husband
creates a
and
bond,
wife.
yes. So I think that maybe we encourage more collaboration in this thing. So as much as every man wants to see a beautiful woman in front of him, wants your wife to look dashing every time, we also deserve some beautiful views. Yes. I think there's this general misconception that they feel, oh, it's just about the woman looking pink for me. No,
it's
just the
both
same way
ways.
you want your wife to perfume herself, look well dressed, be presentable, look nice for you, not only when she's going out. We also desire these things. So we need to encourage our men to try to reciprocate this kind gesture. I call it kind gesture because it's a whole lot when you have to deal with the children, the house chores, and going to work and coming back to be the perfect wife material and all that.
Perfect
So
hobby.
if you are doing all of these things, then this men should also meet us halfway. They should, perfume themselves, dress nicely, not only when they are going out. They should look good for us, and maybe to help things to get better around the home front.
Okay, first off, we do not have the power to control some things. We only just talk about them. And we should not just stress. So now, the ball is now in our court to create this, to groom this kind of men in our child, in our sons, for their wives. But you see, for the men we have now, all we just do is encourage them, incensify, talk about it. Yoruba man sọ pé you should attend tomorrow. Okay, just subtle talking, because the moment you start to fight,
become
you're a nagging wife.
barbarian.
Yeah, nagging wife, yes.
So just taming their ego gradually. Just talk normally. So I have a friend that I remember vividly that she started encouraging her partner they walk in the morning, and he's so beautiful, like absolutely. I would say it is one of those reasons my partner did not just stretch too much, because anytime he drives out, he sees them working. So when I used to walk too, I'd be like, it's just me, I'm bored. I'm not comparing now, but so the moment I said I wanted to go to the gym, he cannot join me now, so he has to allow me. But I would say that it's so beautiful. I always love it. Beautiful. They work together, they bond together, they have conversations. Sometimes it's like the time they have to themselves.
Absolutely.
Because
It's a bonding process.
It's a bonding process. So they encourages one another. It's so beautiful. May Allah continue to bless their union.
Amen.
And if we are not able to find that meeting point, you've tried the process of talking, you've tried bringing the gym to the house, you've tried, let's work together, because we have to understand that we are at different places. What works for A would not work for B. What worked for my friend was bonding, but what works for me is me doing it all by myself. I remember a few days ago my partner was saying, my belly is big. I'm like, you need to work on yourself. I'm sure that one day he might just come in and bring a treadmill and say, my wife has said I should start working on myself. And it's just for us to have this understanding that what works for A will not work for B, but we should know what should work for us at each places that we find ourselves. Then one last thing my friend will always say is pray about it. Prayer
Prayer is the key.
when you want to like do something, or you want to gain something as a wife and you want your husband to do it, you pray about it. It will be funny that there are some prayer points that are on our jotters. It's true, because you cannot fight. What's the need of fighting? So
If you
talk
fight,
to Allah.
you won't get a
You won't
result.
get it.
You won't.
So let's just talk to Allah that owns their hearts. Oh, turner of hearts.
Turn their hearts.
Turn their hearts
So
around.
what we say.
Absolutely. Jazakumullah khairan, Sister Latifa. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you so much for
It
having
was
me.
such a great pleasure having you. That has been Hajia Latifa Fadausi Adeleko. She was talking to us about keeping it fit, and the topic for this week was keep it fit. You have to understand that as a woman and as a man, it is your responsibility to take care of yourself. And taking care of yourself encompasses both your physical, mental health, and of course, not forgetting your spirituality. You must ensure that you put all of this together so that you'll be a wholesome personality. Make sure to do all of this, and Allah will continue to guide us, make us perfect examples of the Deen, and perfect our homes, our lives, and make us good representatives.
Salman al-Farisi is amongst the first of the people who enter the very land that was his once upon a time. He's the only Persian Sahabi, and now he enters the very palaces of the land that he could not go in as a citizen. Now he comes from a slave, from leaving as somebody that gave up everything. Now Allah blessed him to walk into the most magnificent palace of the emperor of the Sassanid Empire. And subhanallah, the Amir said to Salman al-Farisi, "You shall be the leader or the governor of your land here." He comes back after all of these years. He basically becomes the de facto ruler and the governor of his own province and land, subhanallah. And he passes away there, and his qabr is over there. Salman got deen and dunya. By the way, he got dunya, but he never ever lived in a lavish way. In fact, it is said he would not sleep in the palace. He would sleep under a tree. His whole life, he was monastery in Christianity. His whole life was zuhd and ibadah and whatnot. So he didn't like the palace. So he went and slept under a tree. The people would say to him, "You have the palace." He goes, "This is more beloved to me, just to sleep on the ground and whatnot." Until finally somebody said, "I have to build you a house. I beg you, let me build you a house." Salman said, "How large is it going to be?" The man understood. So he goes, "It will be so large that when you stand up, your head is going to hit against the roof. And when you put your feet out, you won't have space to fully spread it." He goes, "Okay, that's fine then." So he built him a small little hut, and that was his house. And it is said once in the books of history that Salman would dress exactly the same, no entourage. Once a merchant came from another land to sell his goods, and he needed help transporting from the camel to the bazaar. He's looking for some cheap laborer, and he sees Salman, but he doesn't recognize him. So he goes, "Hey you, Anta, can you help me with my goods?" So Salman comes up, starts helping the goods from the man's camel to the bazaar. When the other people see, he said, "Let us help you." So the man said, "Who is this guy?" He goes, "This is the leader. This is Salman al-Farisi." He said, "I'm so sorry, I didn't recognize you." And Salman said, "So what? You asked me a favor and I'm doing it. What's the big deal? It was my niyyah to take your goods from your place to your bazaar, and I'm going to finish this." SubhanAllah, the humility of Salman al-Farisi. And of course, he passed away and he's buried over there. Our Prophet ﷺ said that if Iman were in one of the northern stars, then this person from Persia would have gotten it. If Iman were found way up there in the skies, then the Farisi would have found it up there. Whoever puts his trust in Allah, Allah will take care of him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on Salman al-Farisi.
Alhamdulillah. And that was strength.
Beautiful as always.
We should always know that these people lived during the lifetime of the Prophet.
We must also make sure we learn from them, because they are the perfect epitome
The
of
role
what.
model.
Yes, perfect role model for the Deen. May Allah make it easy for all of us.
Amen. Kun fayakun.
That's the much we can take on the program today. We thank you so much for watching. Plan to join us same time, same station next week for another beautiful edition. Like I always say, be the change that you seek and stay happy. I am Tinuke Oloruntoyin Folami. See you same time next week.
Don't forget to follow us on our social media handles. It's right there on the screen. I'm Fadila Okunu. And just before we go, it's important for us to make the world a better place to live in.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum salam.